Now, there are a few things that the world universally hates. Mosquitoes, running out of battery, but none of these things compare to the CRJ200, which is by far the most hated airplane in the aviation community. And while you may think on first glance, why do people hate it so much? It looks like a little private jet that you fly. And so in 2023, I went on a quest to fly the CRJ in real life as a passenger to find out why people hate it. And well, the truth is, it's just a very small, cramped airplane. It's dark, even inside here. If you're anything above 5'5", you're like, maybe I should have sawed my legs off before the flight. Because there is a wall where your legs go.
Oh, it is nice sitting at the window. Can't really see outside.
I didn't have that issue, but I did bump my head into the overhead ceiling. It's like...
Oh. Yeah, I'm totally fine.
You not only want to saw your legs off, but your head off as well. It's a small plane used for very regional flights, and it's definitely not very comfortable. But not only passengers hate this plane, of course, it is essentially pilots. And you know, it's always great fun to go through Reddit to see pilots, ground staff, flight attendants, everyone in the world hating on the CRJ200. Here's a pilot's perspective. Why do I have to trick the blades into switching properly? One button half a second too soon? Everything is deadheading in a window seat. Too bad there is a wall where your feet need to go. Need anti-ice in a descent? That sucks. The only thing that has enough power to get anti-ice to come on at goddamn 75% thrust. That's crazy. So no anti-ice if you're not giving full power. Descending with power in and spoilers out. Brilliant! Put blowers into things so maybe everyone won't die when you shut the packs off to start an engine in Phoenix in July? Nah, that. Don't worry though, once the engine starts are complete, the cabin will cool down. Around the time you get to flight level 330, 33,000 feet, which will take around 2 hours because you had to level off at 230, 250, 270, 290, and 310 to take a running start at the next altitude. And that's if you were one of the lucky bastards that actually got a working APU. Even though that pilot didn't do half of anything anyway, you'd see people with their lips on the gas burst trying to suck out whatever fresh air they could because the APU puts out air like an asthmatic breathing through a straw. That's crazy. Also, thanks Bumblefucks at Bombardier for not giving this thing slats. I just love 170 knots ground speed approaches into Denver in the summer. Good f***ing thing there's 12,000 feet of runway because once I flare from the stupid lawn dirt 5-degree down approach angle, there is a pretty good chance I'm floating forever. Sure, hope there isn't too much of a crosswind. Nothing says stability like manuals that are 6 feet apart from each other. Taking off is a grand old time too. Flaps 8. Have fun with your 147 knots rotate speed in a plane. You have to start flying at 50 knots or the wind will pick up a wing and you'll wing strike the downwind wing that's only 3 feet off the ground anyway. God, I hate that thing. We have a bit of a summary of why this airplane is so hated. Now, the CRJ200 is the oldest of the whole CRJ family. They first started being manufactured in 1991, whereas the CRJ700 series, so coming from the 500 all the way to the 1000, you know, the big CRJs, are much more modern. They came out around 10 years later, and they were produced all the way up to 2020. The CRJ200 was only manufactured to 2006, so we're talking about planes that are almost 20 years old now as well, at least. And well, the CRJ200 was built over 1,000 times, which is more than all the other CRJs combined. Only 924 of those were built. So they're still flying around a lot for SkyWest, for Air Wisconsin, for Jizz Aviation. So the CRJ200 really is old. And you know, I've always had my issues with the CRJ. For example, it's a plane that doesn't have auto throttle, so I was never really able to fly it properly. And of course, the CRJ200 has less powerful engines. Okay, there we go. We're turning it on now. Look at these old systems here. Crazy. Let's get the small APU and see if we can start up this plane. So, ignition start. Does that work? Does this turn on the airplane? Yes, it does. Look at that. Engines are starting up. They're just not very powerful. And is it leaking oil of some sort? Jeez. Okay, we're able to turn on engine number 1 as well, as you can see. Now, this model here for the flight sim is old because like no one in the flight simulator other than this old add-on from 2012 has bothered to make a CRJ200. I mean, Aerosoft has a CRJ series for the Microsoft Flight Sim, and where they have every CRJ except the 200 because they were like, okay, people are not going to fly it anyway because they don't want to suffer. All right, let's turn on the generators and turn on the bleed air, which probably doesn't do much. Hello? That's, I guess, what he was talking about. Like, I can't close the bleeds. Hello, everyone's gonna die on here. Great, we've got no aircon. That's broken. This whole plane is broken, by the way. Anyway, let's get our position working on this old-ass FMC. Yeah. And let's go ahead and fly this one. And you know, essentially, this airplane tricks us. It tricks us into thinking it's performance-y because it's so small. It tricks us into thinking it's able to fly into short runways. But it isn't. It needs quite a runway. By the way, the sound is sadly not there. Come on, why can't no one be bothered to make a proper model for this? Anyway, let's go full power here and see how this airplane performs. Let's go ahead and put flaps to 8, which is the takeoff position. We need a rotate speed of 100,000 knots as well. This is very interesting. Now, it's weird to fly an airplane without hearing anything. It's very quiet. Anyway, this plane does need quite a bit of speed.
Swiss 001.
Shut up.
Cabin is ready for departure.
Yeah, I know, but okay, look, so the thing is, this thing is like needing literally the whole runway here at Corfu. Like, that was generally a test here of the performance. Shut up! Yeah. Oh no, don't crash into the water. Shut up! So what the CRJ200 essentially does is trick you. It tricks you into thinking it's a small, sportiful, vibrant airplane. Whereas it needs 1 million length of runways, and it needs a lot of speed to approach because it really does not have slats, which is pretty crazy. Well, at the same time, you can't turn on anti-ice if you're going throttle idle, you know, because these engines are not able to provide enough power. Let's go ahead and try to land this plane. It's got really no sound, which is really weird, but at least it's got GPWS call-outs. You're fine. Oh, shut up! Everything's good. Everything's fine. We're coming in for landing at La Mole Airport. Yes. Now, another thing this plane is known for is floating quite a bit. Oh, that was actually quite smooth. Let's go ahead and stop now. Reverse thrust and good amount of braking. You can do it CRJ. I mean, at least it has reverse thrust. It doesn't have the old shovel ones, so that's not the worst. Look, I mean, there we go. We managed to stop just fine, thanks to also the immense 45 degrees of flaps. This thing has kind of a wall of flaps that can come out. There we go. Hey, this is not the worst, CRJ. And I mean, I do have to say, I mean, people don't like it, but I think it's kind of nice looking. I like the Bombardier Challenger style nose we can see. Looks pointy. It looks sportiful again. It just isn't very. Now, ground handlers also hate this plane because the cargo door is tiny and the engine blocks the door slightly. So having to put a 400-pound motorized wheelchair in the back of that plane is a nightmare, not to mention the endless need for ballast bags because it's a nose-heavy airplane. Oh, you have to put ballast bags in it? Okay, well, yeah, seeing this, I can kind of understand why baggage handlers kind of hate this plane. Holy moly, it's quite high up. And not only ground handlers hate this plane, it's also air traffic controllers. Mainly because they're awful performance-wise. They are slow and don't do anything well. Basically, they just get in everyone's way. But who else hates this plane? Oh, maintenance workers. Yeah, absolutely miserable machines to maintain. I guess the truth is that since the CRJ was derived from the Challenger, the private jet, it's an expensive plane to fly because it's designed as a business jet and it is designed with a high pain tolerance for maintenance costs in mind. Then you kit it out for 50 passengers and it's like a Porsche minivan. Also, flight dispatchers hate this plane. Everyone hates this plane. This is insane. But everybody does the CRJ deserve the hate? You know, I kind of like it. I mean, as a passenger, I hated how the windows were so low that you can't really see out of them. And I was a bit afraid that we were never going to take off. Oh my God, that we were never going to take off. Holy moly. Actually, I know tons of planes that I have no issue taking off here. Everybody, the CRJ, crappy regional jet, deserves the name. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow as always. Good night. And a special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters. Guns Killer, R27, James Duram, That Dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijitsu Finer, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.